Hello and welcome to your astrological vibrations for Thursday, May 30th, 2019 by Gaia Blooming. I am Mimi and our energy mantra for today is I act consciously. And it's really easy to say, but it may be a little bit more challenging to do. We have the moon in Aries making so many connections through the day. And the moon in Aries, while it can make us act on that emotional level, we also may find ourselves reacting on that emotional level. We may find ourselves taking action without stopping and tuning into the consciousness. And remember, that's what we're working on with Sun in Gemini. Even though we only really have access to about 5% of what our brain is doing, we can definitely use that 5%. You can make the most of that 5% by being aware, bringing your awareness to every situation. Now, one of the things that may be very triggerable still going on is this mutable T-square that we have going on. So we have the mutable T-square, which is Mercury opposite Jupiter. So we have that, and that's definitely giving us a little push and a little pull around what we know, what we see right now that's happening, what we've learned. And then we have Neptune, kind of pulling the arrow, giving it a little bit more traction even to let it fly. And Neptune's and I remind you, there are things beyond what you even see and beyond even what you know that are filtering into what is happening right now. There's always a level of the unknown that is happening. As much as we know, there is so much unknown going on, and you just have to realize that. There are so many lessons that are unfolding, especially when Neptune in Pisces is at play. There's definitely karmic situations, whether we are aware of them or not, that are unwinding. So be very aware of that in the background. Any of that tension that comes up, hold space. Oh, kitty. Little kitten just wandered in here. She's not so little anymore. Hold space for what you do not know. Hold space for the karmic processing, the karmic unwinding that is happening. So that being said, let's dig into these astro transits. We've got the moon in Aries, like I said. Oh my God. Moon in Aries is connecting to Mercury, Saturn, South Node, North Node, it's squaring the nodes, Jupiter, Pluto, yes, all of those. So the moon, this reactive energy, this actionable, emotional, actionable energy that is guided by our situation. Are we feeling frustrated? Are we feeling passionate? Whatever we're feeling, this moon is kind of being guided by that emotional filter that we're putting on it. And so as it goes through making these connections, we are feeling that energy. So the first connection with Mercury, an actionable moon with Mercury in Gemini. Chances are, and this might go with the mutable T-square too, you may feel like you have to have a conversation. Now this is happening at 19 degrees, that's 10 energy. So there's a lot of worth stuff that is up. Now this is also interesting because we actually have the moon shifting into Taurus later in the evening, and it's setting us up for the dark of the moon. We're setting us up for the new moon, which is happening early next week. And so there definitely may be some worth stuff that does surface come to the surface. Don't be afraid to speak your truth, but be very aware of that reactional energy that may come up. Moon square Saturn. Aries is I've had multiple friends talk to me. How do I live a life that I love and be able to survive and not, fall into unhappiness in corporation, unhappiness in, falling into the rat race. And I think a lot of us are coming to a bit of a crossroads with that energy. Be aware. Your soul has purpose. Your soul has a mission, and I do believe that soul purpose, that soul mission, when we tap into it, is fulfilling. And I do believe that we can all make a living without being miserable. Now, it's interesting because this connection is also happening at 19 degrees. So again, we have this worth energy that's coming to the surface. Actually, Mercury and Saturn are in conjunct at 19 degrees. So Mercury has some ideas about it, and Saturn may be kind of throwing it down. Sometimes, I love this analogy. I told this to a friend once upon a time. Sometimes you just have to let the ideas fly. Take all the ideas that come, even if it's like, I'm going to be a beekeeper. I am going to raise llamas. I am going to paint Ganeshas for a living. Whatever it is, it's like spaghetti. Throw all the spaghetti at the wall and see what sticks. See what brings that joy up. Be willing to be wacky. Be willing to be wild. Gemini, you know, the sky can be the limit with Gemini, especially as we're working that Gemini Sagittarius polarity. Keep in mind infinite possibilities. There's always a possibility, and sometimes you just have to hold space for it to let it come about. Speaking of Jupiter, the moon is trining Jupiter. So the moon is working with Jupiter, which means, this is kind of a little relief amidst all of this tension. Those infinite possibilities, can you hold space for them? Can you nurture them? And can you even take a little action in regards to the whimsy, to the whimsy that may be pulling you to help nurture your soul through some of these challenging transits? But we go right from that into, I'm looking at my notes and I'm like, what did I do wrong there? I did something wrong. Interesting. Oh yeah, I wrote down the wrong degree. That's what I did. I was like, moon squaring Pluto. That's what comes after. I wrote it at 18 degrees, but it's 22 degrees. I'm like, it wouldn't come after that Jupiter thing. Moon square Pluto. We do not feel fully powerful in and of ourselves. And that's going to continue to be one of the obstacles in fully embracing that purpose-driven life, working that power. So see what power issues rise to the surface in and through the day. You may be going along, boop-a-doop-a-doo, and then like, bam. And there's a power issue in that. So tune into that. See where you can bring your power back to yourself in that. See where you can bring healing back to yourself in that. Also today, like I said, lots of karmic stuff unwinding, unplaying. Venus, worth stuff. Venus in Taurus, worth stuff and creativity. Venus in Taurus is connecting with Neptune in Pisces. So there may be karmic relationship stuff that's surfacing. There may be karmic worth stuff that is surfacing at this time. And again, this is a helpful connection, so it's helpful, it's unwinding, but it still may be triggering. I feel like so often when we get triggered and we're like, I don't know where that just came from, but oh my God, I so feel it, it's deep. Whether it's family line deep, it's past life deep, it's deep in this lifetime deep, something you didn't even realize, just be very aware of it. It's 18 degrees, that's 9 energy, so that's going to make it reactive. And finally, I mentioned this, that Mercury-Jupiter opposition. Throw the spaghetti at the wall. Hold space for possibility. Nurture that possibility. Joe said linguine. Let it be linguine. Whatever your pasta of choice is, I don't care. But throw it at the wall and see what sticks. See what ideas of infinite possibilities are calling your soul at this time to be nurtured, kind of like a little seedling within. And sometimes you just have to be willing to get weird and wacky with it. Finally, like I said, moon is shifting into Taurus late in the evening, 9:43 p.m., moving us into dark of the moon. You know, the time before we get the new moon. And when the moon moves into the sign before the new moon, it's a replay of last month's new moon. Do you remember last month's new moon? Do you remember where you were? Do you remember what those lessons were? There was a lot of stuff up about worth. And worth is going to be an ongoing thing. So check in with yourself as triggers fire up. Where does it have to do with worth with you? Because chances are there's at least a teeny piece of the pie, but chances are it's a little bit bigger, that is affected by that. So let's look at these Astros cards. Not Astros. I think this is how the moon in Aries is currently feeling. It's feeling pretty suppressed, and it's feeling suppressed because stuff is moving so slow and we're really deep in that muck like we keep talking about. But no mud, no lotus. And look, I do have that card. There is that lotus. It's flowering. This energy is all purposeful. Even if you're not completely aware what the heaviness is, keep clearing, transmuting. Give it to the earth. Let the earth help you transmute it. Call in your angels. Call in your guides. Ask for support. You are not alone in this. You are not alone in feeling this, and you are not alone in your process. And I have the totality card in reverse, and chances are it's saying you're not being very present with the cat hair on your lip. You're not being very present in this process. You're trying to move too far forward instead of being here in this moment. Be in this mud. Notice what is suppressing you. What can you let go of? Where do you need to slow down and be present at this time? It's okay to slow down. It's okay to take it minute by minute. In fact, I think that's one of the biggest lessons history has taught us over and over. Like, it's okay. Slow down. Take it easy. I keep hearing, I heard it in yesterday's scope too. Jack Johnson's song, slow down everyone, you're moving too fast. Frames can't catch you when you're moving like that or something like that. I can't remember exactly what the lyrics are, but like, go listen to that song. Slow down, take it easy. Find that mellow place where you can be in the moment and be okay where this moment is at. Okay, so with that, I'm going to leave that there. Book a reading with me if you would like to have your astro and cards read. Take a second. What are you grateful for? That always helps be in the moment. What in this moment are you grateful for? I'm grateful for the sleeping kitty and all of the other animals that are around, bringing havoc and joy sometimes. And besides that, the better it gets, the better it gets. There's more than enough love in the world for you, and you do have the power. Namaste.